Well, 1-1 it is. Time for another short break now. Don't go away. Join us again in a couple of minutes for the second half of Rangers Aberdeen, live from Ibrox. Welcome back. 1-1 at Ibrox, as if you didn't know. Mark, if you were Walter, what would you do? Would you change anything?
I would leave it as it is for a while, 10-15 minutes, see how things go. Then possibly have a look at introducing Alistair or something at some stage.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll change it at the moment.
And then Rangers in the tunnel now, Steve. I think you would go with what Mark says. Let's go back now over to Ibrox. It's 1-1 in the match that could decide the championship. Rangers against Aberdeen. Back to you, Jerry.
Welcome back to Ibrox Stadium as Rangers and Aberdeen take the field. Just a quick look at Rangers. No changes apparent there. And same with Aberdeen. I must say, Charlie, you know, looking back over the previous 4 meetings between these sides this season in both League and Cup, there have been like 20 bookings in 4 games, and yet this has been played in a good spirit.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I mean, there's been very few vicious tackles, but it's always been regarded, Aberdeen Rangers, even when I played at Aberdeen, there was always a special spice about the game. A bit of nastiness would creep in eventually or whatever, but today, considering the amount of tension that's in the air, it's been played at a very, very good sportsmanship in both teams' part.
So Rangers know they have a big job to do in this second half. And they went into the game on 81 points, just 1 ahead of Celtic. Their goal difference is +9 over the rivals, but they do not want to be going to Rugby Park next Saturday with this job still to finish. But they're finding Aberdeen more than worthy opponents. Aberdeen, of course, know that they can push themselves into 3rd spot if they can win this afternoon. Well, I wonder just how much longer Walter Smith will leave it like this without being tempted to throw on the luckiest mascot in the history of Rangers, Ali McCoist. Meanwhile, Dodds has taken a knock and requires some treatment. But certainly, Charlie, Ali McCoist, 19 goals, not that many starts made this season, but still a remarkable scoring record. But he hasn't scored against Aberdeen this season.
Well, that in itself is unusual, and especially the fact that it possibly is his last home match. You know, there's so much. This guy seems to write the script every time he plays it, every season. And we're going to see it again today, but I just think sometimes Rangers do play at a pace that is a bit slow for the style that they play. And I think with the one up front and Anderson was finding it hard to get the movement of the Rangers style of play. You always think that somebody like McCoist will always benefit from somebody round about the tap-ins and the Loudrops of the world. You just expect that this guy's going to come on and probably score.
Well, he's done it so often over the years, hasn't he? You remember back to the League Cup final against Hibs when he'd come back after breaking his leg and he scored a superb winner. What a player he's been down through the years. But, happily now, Dodds has recovered. Gough is well bandaged up. It's like emergency ward 10 out there. It's quite amazing how often Richard Gough ends up swathed in bandages in big matches, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And always towards the end of the season, you always seem to see Richard Gough being injured.
But here's perhaps a break on. Loudrops in there. The goalkeeper's come all the way out of his area. Well, he certainly gets away with it, but Michael Watkin steaming out there as Loudrop was breaking forward. And in the end, he did the job.
Well, he made the decision to come, and he got there, so full credit to him for that. But well, it looked as if it was a bit of a kamikaze.
And now Gordon Jury's on the deck. Well, it's certainly, we said it was being played in a good spirit, and there have been no bookings, but it's certainly tough out there, and he's caught by the elbow of Brian Irvin, who himself was in the wars in the first half. So a tough encounter, as you would expect, between these clubs. But Rangers certainly have done well against the Dons this season. Last year they took 7 points out of the 12 against the Dons. They've already got 7 from the 3 league games this time around. Gordon Jury has recovered. the ball is sporting the return to Rangers. And that's John Brown. A long one from Brown. Henderson challenges, it breaks away. Here's Henderson again, and he gets right under that one as he's challenged. But he combines so well with Laudrup. And the referee has, in fact, awarded a goal kick. It was Laudrup who clipped it forward. And as the challenge came in, the Rangers player just got under the ball. And the referee decided that he'd made the final contact, even though John Ingles come flying in, and awarded the goal kick.
Credit to Ingles there, he came across, made up ground in Anderson, and it looked as if he was going to strike in the back of the net. And a great challenge.
Goff and McLaren under pressure from Dodds. It's good play by the two defenders, but Aberdeen have it back again. It was Bernard who intercepted initially. That's away by McLaren. This is Gary Smith. Windus. Again, McCallum's charging in, but Windus does well to retain possession. Away by Brown, picked up by Laudrup. And he shows good pace, but in the end has to settle for the throw-in, just in line with the penalty area. And Robertson, who can fire in the long one, is going over to take this. And he waves John Brown forward. Goff starts a run as well, and Brown checks out. In comes Richard Goff, and that's good handling by the goalkeeper. And once again, Brian Irvine and Goff colliding. No prisoners have been taken.
No, there's none with these two. I mean, they're both... Goff is watching the ball all the way, and he's fully committed to going and getting it. And there's no way somebody like Brian Irvine will stand out of the way and let him go for it.
A real scrap going on in the middle of the park for possession. It's McCall. Gascoigne, nice little touch by him. It's played through by Robertson to Laudrup. Trevor Stevens starts a good run. He's picked out by Laudrup. Laudrup still in support. It's 2 against 1 here. Aberdeen gets Windus across. Laudrup sends that one through, and Rangers get the corner, but really Trevor Stevens and Brian Laudrup should have made more of that situation. And 2 of them were there against the 1 defender.
It wasn't a great pass from Laudrup. He was asking too much of Trevor Stevens. He actually did well to get the corner.
This is Gascoigne. Goff's up there again. And it's another corner. The ball's deflected. Corner to Rangers. It was Gascoigne who sent it in.
Yeah, it was, and Goff and Irvine at it again. He does get, there's a touch, I think, off Ingles actually. Stephen Glass letting to go for a corner.
Laudrup with a nice touch to Gascoigne. It's Laudrup again. He provides the cross. Jury's on the far side.
Well, that was a great opportunity for Jury to knock it across the goal. Good lay back from Gascoigne. Teasing cross again from Laudrup. We've seen so many today. He's headed it straight at the keeper when it should be across the goal for someone coming in to get in the end of it.
Meanwhile, Aberdeen have got themselves a free kick just inside their own half of the field. It's the skipper Stuart McKinney to take it. Now in his 13th season with Aberdeen. Just leaving it now. It's played shot by Ingles. There's Gary Smith, and he's got Stephen Glass just ahead of him. It's McLaren who cuts out the cross, and Trevor Stevens there, providing some cover. No free kick, says the referee, much to the annoyance of the home fans. This is Glass who sends in the cross. McCall's at full stretch. Rangers under pressure here as McKimmie comes forward, just to the edge of the area. Tees it up now for Bernard. Rowson playing it through, looking for Booth. It's away by Robertson. Still Aberdeen making it mighty tough for Rangers. Here's Gary Smith. Through for Dodds. This is Glass. McLaren goes across to make the challenge. That's behind. Corner kick, and it's quickly taken. Aberdeen have the bit between their teeth at the moment. And it's Gorham who picks it up and starts a counter-attack. The early ball out to Eric Bo Anderson. Loudrop's in the middle. Jury's there as well. And it's out for the throw-in to Rangers. This is Gascoigne. Challenged by Rowson, holding off that challenge as Gascoigne eventually pulls out of the run, looking for a free kick. The referee shakes his head and says no. It's Robertson who's trying to get forward for Rangers now. Well, Gascoigne just pulled out of the situation. He turned around looking for a free kick, and Les Mottram just shook his head and play continued.
I think initially he's let play go on and let Gascoigne go with the ball. He was then decided that he wanted to stop. But I think initially he did. He waved play on.
Here's Loudrop. Away by Gary Smith. In comes Trevor Stephen. The crowd getting right behind Rangers here, trying to lift them. Touch from Loudrop, but the ball breaks down. The interception comes from Bernard. Laid off by Rowson. Across now for Gary Smith. Glass is ahead of him, and he's in a bit of space as well. Trevor Stephen is running back to try and give some cover here. Stephen Glass is coming more and more into this game on the left-hand side. He provides a cross for Windus, and Trevor Stephen was certainly struggling to get back there as Glass started his run, and both Gary Smith and Stephen Glass on that left side causing some problems. But here come Rangers now. This is Anderson. Still it's Anderson. Well, McCall was arriving to his left-hand side. Loudrop was just in ahead of him. It looked as though he might be able to go himself, but in the end there was nothing in it.
Yeah, it's great defending again from Irvine now. He could easily have left the man and cut inside. He decided to go all the way with him and committed again in a challenge and did enough to put him off.
Here's Loudrop. Jury. Anderson. Knocked away by Ingles. Touch from McKimmie. It's Ingles again. Aberdeen playing them aware of trouble here, but McCall slides in well. The Jury comes in now. A bit of dithering by the defence. It's Jury for Rangers. Well, Anderson had a real chance there. There were Rangers players queuing up as Gordon Jury played it through. A bit of dithering in the defence. I think Rowson it was who failed to get it away. Jury played it back in. That was Anderson who got the touch. There were other Rangers players there.
Well, again, it's Aberdeen making their own mistakes. Young Rowson getting involved in it. I think this pass is actually meant for Gascoigne, who's behind Anderson. And it's a bad touch from Anderson. He's let himself down on 2 or 3 occasions with a bad touch. And there's another one.
So a great chance for Rangers goes a begging. Just over 57 minutes played. It's a 1 goal apiece. It's Aberdeen trying to get forward now through Stephen Glass. Dodds is ahead of him. Here he is. Glass keeps a run going. And that's Rangers ball, indicates the referee.
The game's certainly opened up now, Jerry. There's lots of space for players. And I think you probably see somebody like Loudrop or something making a real telling contribution in this game.
Well, Goff really had to stretch at the last moment. He was almost caught. So now it's John Brown pushing Rangers forward. The crowd getting right behind him. It's Loudrop. Still it's Loudrop. Flipping it through. And it's John Brown who's well forward. And that's Rangers ball. Rangers trying to lift the pace here. Walter Smith is back down trackside with more instructions and getting caught up in the atmosphere. There's so much riding on this match for the management team. Here's Jury. A touch for Anderson.
Well, chances are coming now. Good pass from Robertson. Good 1-2. Jury aware of the run. Probably not his favoured side, he's right, but he must hit the target. You know, Rangers have lifted the tempo. There's more space in the game now. It also suits Aberdeen, who can hit them in the break.
There's Jury pushing forward again. Well, high boot there from Gary Smith. That's Aberdeen's ball. Aberdeen get on with it as the Rangers fans claim a free kick. This is Stephen Glass, challenged by Trevor Stephen. Here's McLaren. Billy Dodds fighting away there at his heels, and the free kick is awarded. Here's Stephen. Through now for Jury. Across comes Irvin. He clears well. It's taken down by McCall. Left to Stephen. The Rangers just a bit anxious there. Played through by Gary Smith. Laid off by Booth. That's a nice ball. He runs onto the return from Windus, but Brown's here. It breaks away to Dodds. Glasses to his left. Dodds is cutting inside though for the shot. In the end, there wasn't a lot of power in it. He certainly had the option of Stephen Glass to his left. Decided to cut inside and have a go.
Yeah, it was good build-up play. Good play pass from initially Gary Smith. Booth a nice lay-off, and suddenly Aberdeen are flooding forward. Kind of chokes it into the ground a bit, Billy Dodds here, rather than hitting it cleanly. But still, there's spaces for Aberdeen to expose as much as Rangers are pressing forward.
So that's another gone here at Ibrox Stadium. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 1, and the strain and the stress showing on the face of Walter Smith. Well, Rangers are about to make a change, and Ali McCoist is getting ready to come on. And Anderson is likely to be the man who will leave the field. But meanwhile, Rangers have a free kick. Laudrup tries to squeeze it through to Anderson. This is Jury. Stephen for Laudrup, who's quickly closed down. But that's great play by Laudrup. Well, Laudrup did so well to get away there from Ingles, but it's Aberdeen breaking away. Disappointing ball out of defence, and there'll be some roar goes up here for Ali McCoist. So a huge applause for one of the great Rangers of all time. And Eric Bo Anderson leaves the field. McCall to Brown. Well, if McCoist gets a winner today, he'll get the freedom of the stadium and city for as long as he wants it. But he's responded so often for Rangers in the past, and now Rangers have the free kick, and the referee has lost his patience. And Stuart McKinney pleads the case, but Les Mottram has been a patient man. And the yellow card is shown. So a crowded penalty area as Gascoigne waits to take the kick. A lot of movement going on. Well, they're just trying to catch the goalkeeper. Shows such tremendous confidence from set pieces.
A touch of the Del Piero's here, played it in an area, teasing again, someone to come on the end of it, or maybe hopefully going in the back corner. It's a little bit too wide.
Well, Goff comes in, but he comes in late, and he concedes the free kick. He was beaten to that one by Windus, and charged on into the Aberdeen player. By McKinney. This is Scott Booth, and it's Brown who challenges, and the ball's deflected off the Aberdeen player. Rangers throw. Long throw from Robertson. It's a touch from McCoy. Loudrup tries to get forward. Referee shakes his head, no free kick. Loudrup just getting back to his feet. There's Stephen Glass. Moves forward. Stevens with him. McLaren's across there as well. But Stephen Glass has certainly caused one or two problems on the left-hand side of the field. Ably backed up by Gary Smith in the second half. And Trevor Stephen, who's been filling that area, is requiring support from Alan McLaren, who's having to come out and help him in these situations. And Aberdeen have the free kick, and a small band of supporters are really cheering them on. Small band of supporters there in the Broomloan stand, just in the bottom left-hand corner. Some real pressure here for Andy Gorham and his defenders. It's away by Robertson. This is Loudrup. Brings to McCoy. It's Loudrup again. And the ball just will not break for him. Well, he gets the free kick this time. And it's quickly taken through to Goff. Robertson's away in a tremendous run, but that was well cut out by Stuart McKimmie. Just got a foot to that one as Goff tried to slide it through into the path of Robertson, who was off on one of those runs. The championship is so close for Rangers, but Aberdeen are making them battle every inch of the way. Here's Gascoigne. It's Gascoigne who hit Rangers' equaliser in the first half after Irvine had put Aberdeen ahead. That's the way things remain, one apiece with just over 65 minutes gone. And now it's Loudrup trying to find the opening. He's got two players to beat, and he's forced into the error. The ball drops behind for the goal kick.
Again, it's good defending Aberdeen. Stephen Glass, young man, but making Loudrup make the decision, not diving in. He suddenly crosses out of the park, but tremendous amount of tension in there. You still feel Aberdeen are a threat because Rangers are driving forward. But again, Rangers mainly just left Alan McCoy stuck on his own, and Loudrup still roaming from side to side.
They're still looking to Gascoigne and Loudrup to provide a little moment of magic that will unlock the steadfast defence. Gascoigne showed some amazing skill in the first half, but apart from McLaren's header coming off the post, Aberdeen have defended stoutly, and here they come forward again, and Goff loses out. That's Windus, and it's McLaren who does just enough to block him, and it's Goff who recovers and gets it through to Jury.
Lots of managers have got a saying that you must earn the right to win things and win games, never mind championships. And Aberdeen are making Rangers do this today, until they are going to do it.
Well, Rangers had in fact failed to win in 5 consecutive visits to Pittodrie until they went there in October, and they repeated that again in February. 2 1-0 victories, which have turned out to be so important. As we said earlier, they've risen to just about every challenge this season, and it's another big challenge for them this afternoon. They lost out, of course, to Aberdeen in the League Cup, but here's a chance perhaps. The header from McCoy, teed up by Loudrup. Loudrup there getting away from the defender, sending in the cross for McCoy.
Yeah, it's great vision again from Loudrup. It's hit the byline. McCoy is pulled out. It's a difficult header. He's got to put the power back into it at a difficult angle. You see, he's quite low down. I actually thought it might have clipped Brian Irvine on the way by there.
And of course, McCoist has been so successful with headed goals this season, but that one just wide of target. And now it's Aberdeen pushing forward. It's Rowson, but McCall does well, just gets in a foot. It's cleared by Brown. Now it's Loudrup. He's quickly closed down. It's through for Gascoigne. McCoy's ahead of him. Loudrup keeps a run going, showing blistering pace. Here's Loudrup, he might finish it himself. And yet another goes a begging. Blistering pace from Laudrup to get into the area. McCoist was ahead of him. It looked as though Laudrup might have a go himself.
Well, I think he should have done. I think the pass from Gascoigne just was perfectly on his stride. He didn't have to check his stride, but he chose to try and do that delicate chip back inside to McCoist. He really should have had a go himself.
And here comes Stephen Glass again, ably supported by Gary Smith. What a fine second half this young man's having. He provides a cross. It's Brown who sends it high into the air. And Trevor Stephen comes across, fails to make the challenge. It's Rosen who sends it in. And once again, Aberdeen comes so close. And they have the corner kick. Well, there's no doubt all the dangers coming down that left side of the field. And it was Rosen who provided the cross. And Windus coming ever so close. Well, Aberdeen are contemplating a change, but at the moment it's Windus in possession. It's Gascoigne who blocks it. The break's on here now for Laudrup. Gascoigne's away in the run as well. It's 2 against 2. Aberdeen are trying to get players back. Ali McCoist arriving as well. Laudrup goes down, but the referee is not interested. It was Gary Smith who made the challenge. Well, what a let-off that was for Rangers just a moment ago. Good play down the left. And the header going in from Windus. And Andy Gorham got just the nearest touch on it. And then at the other end, Laudrup pushing through. But there's certainly activity down at the benches as play goes on. The game's so finely balanced. What a fantastic drama out there. But there's no doubt Trevor Stephen has been toiling a bit in that right area, and it looks as though he'll be coming off it. Here's Gascoigne trying to weave some magic again. He gets a second bite at it. He provides a cross. It's Trevor Stephen who's there. He hits the early one back in, but right into the hands of Michael Watt.
Well, he's actually probably tried to overdo it here, Gascoigne. It's one too many. But he gets it back and plays it in a good area again. There's no one there again at the back post. Well, on Trevor Stephen, he's trying to hook it back in. Just that final ball, you just see they're getting a little frustrated, Rangers.
So just under 19 minutes left. And Rangers have the throw. Jury wants to take this one and fire in the long one, and Goff has moved to the edge of the area in anticipation. It's aimed in his direction. He climbs for it. Breaks away to Dodds. The Rangers players anticipated a difficult afternoon.